Okay. All right. Fantastic. Looks like we're live. Hi, everyone. My name is, oh, let me mute this. Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Robert Langdon, and we are here today to talk about the new exhibition called Food for Thought. Food for Thought is an exhibition of 64 different artists who are all have all contributed work that is relevant to the kitchen. A lot of, the kitchen seems to be one of the a real social gathering place for families and friends. So why shouldn't we be decorated in the same way that the rest of our house is, with some beautiful art? So I've curated a collection, as I said, of artwork that is food related or cooking related, kitchen related, by 64 different artists. Most of them from the Hudson Valley, but a number of them from outside of the Hudson Valley, New York metropolitan area, and I'm really pleased to have some folks from some other states as well. Just wanted to let you know, I think most of you know that the gallery is now fully virtual. I had closed the physical location at the end of last year. 80% of the business now is all online through the Artsy shop. So it just made a better financial decision to do it that way. Um, if you hear a cat in the background, that's my boy George crying for dinner. And he's still got 2 hours. Um, okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm seeing, and then we'll go ahead and start looking at all of the work. It's quite a collection here. All right. So let me share this with you. Here we go. All right, wonderful. So we are looking right now at this is the home screen for the gallery shop on Artsy. It's artsy.net. Artsy.net is it's a vehicle for brick and mortar galleries to exhibit their work, sell their work. Artsy has a large built-in collector base. Um, I've been sending works all over the country, all over the world. So I'm really, really pleased that the artists in the Hudson Valley and other galleries, other artists that oh, sorry. All right, and other artists also that have joined the gallery
Yeah, I'm
have
not used to this computer.
get their work seen throughout the world, not just the Hudson Valley, but all over. So what you're looking at now is the home screen on Artsy, as I said, artsy.net. And as soon as you log on, you will see a collection of the shows that we have going on right now. This is the main show, Food for Thought, that we're going to be taking a look at each piece in the show. And I'm really lucky to have a handful of the artists joining me to discuss their work. Have a couple other solo shows. The first one is this is by Veronica Lawler. I did a show for Veronica over the summer where she abstracted out bricks from brickyards from the Hudson Valley. The Hudson Valley has a long history of brick making. So this was the project that she did before the Kosciuszko Bridge is a bridge that connects Brooklyn and New York. Um, yeah, Veronica, through her commute, passed by the bridge as they were destroying it, and she would stop and do some sketching, and then she wound up abstracting them out into a whole series of gorgeous paintings that are abstracted out of the bridge. Uh, we also have a solo show by Lowell Barr, which we're going to talk to in a little bit. And then we also have a solo show by Faye Wood. Um, this is a collection of Faye's work. Faye does. She's a multimedia artist. She uses many materials, painting. She does lots of collage work. She's got some gorgeous sculptures. So if you have a moment, have a look at these shows. I think you'll enjoy them. Okay, so what we're going to do is get right into the food for thought show. The first piece that we have is by Mark Allen. Mark has a number of pieces on the gallery site. Mark has been in a number of shows over the years. This piece is called Cheers to Morning Coffee. It's acrylic on canvas. It's 20 by 20. The second piece by Mark is called Candle to Dine By. This is Candle to Dine By. And Mark says, my work is a raw reflection of who I am, a composite of perception and perspective, using form and shading void of color. Each piece is inspired by a mood, memory, longing, or insight. We have next we have two pieces by Susan Angelus. Susan is a wonderful mixed media artist who lives over in New York. This is the first one called Spamsalog. It's mixed media. It's 36 by 24. And Susan says, for my non-Filipino friends, Silog is a term Filipinos coined for breakfast combos with garlic fried rice, sangangag, and egg. Itilog. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing my Tagalog correctly. Spamsalog is a trifecta with fried spam. So during a stressful week caring for my sick husband, I opened a can of spam and treated myself to Spamsalog. My comfort food inspired me to create this mixed media collage. The second piece by Susan is called Soup Under the Saffron Sky. This is a mixed media piece as well. It's 30 by 24. Susan worked on this piece the day she witnessed the orange-hued smoke from the Quebec wildfires as they descended over Manhattan. Fortunately, her Jewish husband likes to make his version of kangi, similar to the glutinous consistency of Filipino lugao or arroz caldo. So when the air quality red alert went into effect, they were well stocked with food and chicken soup. No need to breathe the toxic air outdoors. So those are two pieces by Susan. Agnes, good to see you. It's been a while. You have to unmute yourself, Agnes.
Okay.
Right. Here you are. Excellent. Good to see you.
You too. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Good, good.
Agnes Barber is a fantastic artist living in Saugerties. This is a piece called Grateful, and I'm really pleased to have her here to tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I'm an acrylic artist. I've always been acrylics, but once in a while I dabble in other mediums. Been painting for 12 years now in September. And I just put this all together. It has a lot of me in it because the table that it is on is a coffee table with my husband's first attempt at making furniture. So I put it on the coffee table. The butter dish, I like to collect carnival glass. So that's part of my collection of the carnival glass. The wine goblet really doesn't have any significance to it. The lace tablecloth was a tablecloth done by my husband's grandmother, who was very good at crocheting, and she did all her own knitting. She never read any instructions, and this was made with knit crocheting. So people that are familiar with that, it's very, very tiny little pieces of thread, a lot of work. And she's done a tablecloth. She did a bedspread years ago. So I have them with me. The crock that I have the bread in was given by my pastor when she left the church to move on to another church. She gave it to me because I used to teach Sunday school. So I put that in there. And the bread, I have a habit. I like to take like Italian bread and I like to let it stay out with just maybe a couple holes in the bottom and let it dry. And I use it for decorations in the kitchen. So I thought, what a great thing to put in for food for thought. So there was a lot of thought that went into it. And, I really enjoy artwork very, very much. And thank you, Robert. I've had, a few pieces now that you've chosen, which makes me very, very
Yeah.
honored that you would choose my paintings. It really does. I mean, 12 years of painting and I haven't got over the fact that people really like my art.
Well, I've sold a few of your pieces
I
too.
know you
Uh,
have. I know you have. And
I'm a fan of your work, and I'm pleased to have another one. I just
yes,
wanted to mention that the embroidery, I mean, it's so delicate, even in the painting here. I think you got this done really beautifully.
yeah,
Um,
it was a job. In fact, I'm good friends with Linda Linton, who I think is here today. Hello, Linda. And we talked back and forth. And when I told her that I was going to try to put some lace on a table, she kind of started to laugh. And I know why, because it's a lot of work. And I said, well, if it don't work out, I'll just paint it out. We know how we can paint things out we don't like, but it came out fairly good, I think.
I think it came out beautiful.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
yeah,
Uh,
so yeah.
really great to see you again.
Yes, you too, and take care of yourself, and thank you.
All right, you got it. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Lowell, are you here? I don't think she is. No. Okay. I have a few pieces by Lowell Barr. This is a fun one called Takeout with Nuts. They're smaller pieces. I believe it's 6 by 6. The second piece, the 4 by 4, is called Misfortune, which is a great companion piece to Takeout with Nuts. And then the third piece is called I Only Have Eyes for You. I did want to mention that, as I said, I have a solo show of Lowell's that's going on. Back in 2018, I believe it was, I gave Lowell a solo show at the gallery. Lowell has a little bit of a dark side. She goes from one extreme of painting these gorgeous, realistic pieces to just something a little funkier with a dark side. So the exhibition was called Playing in the Dark, and I decided to reinvent it for the internet. So if you like some quirky artwork, Lowell Barr is the artist for you. So please have a look at her work there. Okay. Oh, Sandra Belitz. Belitza. Sandra, are you here? Yes, you are. Wonderful. Fantastic. I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself.
Okay, there I am.
Right. Fantastic.
Hello,
Good.
everyone.
Belitza Vasquez.
Vasquez.
Vasquez. Welcome. Sandra does a really interesting process with scanner photography that really creates some gorgeous works. So these two pieces are some of her scanner photography. This is the first one, Still Life with Green Peppers, and then the second one is Ha 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 Ha. So Sandra, please tell us about these pieces.
Okay, I've been a photographer all my life, and in 2020, I learned scanner photography from Ellen Hoverkamp, who had been doing it for like 25 years. And I just love the simplicity of doing it, but it takes a lot of practice and learning how to put objects down and seeing things sort of upside down and backwards. So this was all a new process to me. And after practicing a while, I usually just took things that I had in the house. And this particular day, I had a pepper and some pears and mushrooms. And then I will get the greenery from the garden, whatever I have that's growing outside. I go in my car and I carry shears with me. So if I find something along the side of the road, I'll cut them and put them in water and wait till I get home and then try to make an arrangement on my scanner. And this one particularly, I thought was more like a Dutch still life, the idea of way it came together. And I really like the texture in the cut pepper and how the mushrooms and everything look like they were just placed there on their own. But a lot of thought had to go into this and placement and replacement of the objects on the scanner.
I
And
would think I would one of the things that I really, really like about this whole process is just the dimension that it creates and the vibrancy that you don't really get, I think, with traditional photography.
mhm,
I would think that the whole placement of it is all key to this whole process because of it being so close to so flush to the scanner,
right.
and the rest of the distance just sort of disappearing into the darkness.
Right. And the use of Silverfast software allows me to control something about the resolution, a little bit more than if you were using just the scanning software that comes with a scanner. And I'm able to make adjustments to color and contrast and saturation also. So I can do that as soon as I make the digital image. And then and post processing, I can go in and if I want to paint some areas or make them darker or lighter to give more of a sense of depth, depending on how many layers I have.
Mhm.
And there are many pictures that I do with flowers that I have to hang. So I have sort of a cage with wires running across in this way, and I'm able to put the stems up. Sometimes I'll tape them so that they're not laying too flat on the scanner because you don't want petals and other things to be pressing down too much on the surface. And so that becomes quite complicated. And then you have to work, if I have a lot of layers, let's say I'll have something in the foreground and something I want to appear in the middle ground and the background, it often requires me to use tweezers to be able to go in and move individual things. Oftentimes I'll put in nuts that I find in the yard or feathers or some little item like that. And depending on where it is, it often, takes a lot of care to be able to go in and get that little thing and move it around. And then I do pre-scan, pre-scan, pre-scan until I think it looks good. And then after that, there's usually quite a lot of post-processing because of dust. If anybody knows about glass, it just attracts dust no matter how clean your room is. And so I like to retouch all of that and make sure it's nice and black. And the background could be changed later on to some other color, but I really like the way the colors pop. And also in scanning photography, it's the natural color. I don't change the color or anything. And I think it just comes out beautiful like this. It captures the real colors and everything. And I just really love it. So I've been doing that along with my regular camera photography. And with my camera photography, I do a lot of travel and wildlife and landscape. So this added another dimension that I think is so creative because I can make things that I want. I can combine things that don't grow together in the yard and things that you would never think fit together. And so I really like that, the ability to do that and to sometimes make you question, how is that mushroom standing on the pear like that? When in reality, it's laying down on the scanner. So
It's a beautiful process. I mean, the results are really just stunning. Sandra has a gorgeous piece of flowers, a floral piece in the last show, Best in Show. So if you have a moment, I'd encourage you to go have a look at that as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm really pleased to have these.
Thank you, me too.
I'd love to give this a try myself one of these days.
Yeah. I'm going to have to leave because we're having a party for my husband today for his birthday. So the
happy birthday.
family's here, but I did want to participate. So
I'm really glad you joined us and explained.
yes, thank you so much.
Take care now.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Janice Belove.
Hi, Robert.
Oh,
Can you
hi.
hear me?
I sure.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I actually wrote something, so I'm going to read
Sure.
from it, if you guys don't mind. My name is Janice Belove. I guess you can see that. And my two pieces in here, Honeycrisp, which is this one, and the other one, Macarons, which are not macaroons.
Yeah.
They're both clay prints of iPad paintings that I did in the Procreate app. And food has always been a favorite subject of mine. The transient quality of it appeals to my sense of impermanence in terms of subject matter. So my other work is a lot of still lives that are temporary. And also I like to eat, so I like to paint food. I love to draw, and it's difficult for me to pass up an opportunity to record the interesting physical appearance of a food that might entice me or you to eat it. Early on in my career as a painter, I used to do food illustrations for magazines and newspapers, including the Times. So food is like an old subject for me. One of my biggest art influences, particularly in the iPad work, which this is, but in my oil painting as well, has been David Hockney. And he does he works in on the iPad. He's been, and on his phone, doing digital paintings for a very long time, maybe 15 years or so. And when he first started doing it, my interest was piqued when I observed how he could use the iPad to capture an observed moment in time, and the smooth surface and immediacy of the response time on the iPad allows me to capture detailed shapes and vivid colors, and a sense of place, which in these, I guess you don't see them so much because these are almost portraits of a piece of food. But anyway, that's generally, that's it.
How did you find going from traditional hand drawing to working on apps like Procreate?
That's a good question. I've always loved to draw, but once I got used to working on the iPad, I love it, and it's really hard for me to go back to traditional drawing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I just got the smoothness. For those of you who've ever done work on the iPad, the smoothness of the glass and the quickness. You can pick up colors really quickly. You don't have to, there's an erase tool. Once I got used to doing this, I do these all the time. It's really hard to go back to drawing. I still paint, but that's even hard to go back and forth between oil paintings and this. But this has really taken over my drawing process, I have to say. It's more intuitive. Not intuitive, that's not true, but it's just different. You could draw really so easily that it's hard to go back.
Yeah. They're wonderful. I mean, they look like traditional drawings. Yeah, I think they're fantastic, and especially in the Apple Crisp, or the Honey Crisp. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I really like the contrast between the clarity of the apple and then the background.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great little little piece there.
Thanks. Well, you can do all these things really easily. Like I use the 6B pencil like I would in a drawing. There's an option, to use paintbrushes and different kinds of pencils. And I mostly use the 6B, but you can, like for the background there, it's kind of blurry. There are options to use all kinds of mark making tools that it's a little bit easier to do with this. So
wonderful.
Thanks.
Great to see you, Janice. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Robert.
I hope your snow is gone. We didn't get any up here, but I know
we still got plenty. Usually more up there, but I think we have more this time in New Jersey.
Yes. All right. Good to see you.
Okay. You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Okay. Next we have a piece by Ed Berkes. Ed is a really prolific artist living in Woodstock. Ed does a lot of abstract work. He does a lot of surrealistic work. This is called The Chef, and this is what is it? Oh, it's Sumi Ink. So that's Ed Berkes, and there's lots of Ed's work on Artsy if you'd like to have a look at some of his different styles. His abstract work has been really wonderful lately. I'm always pleased to see what he comes up with. Next, we have two pieces by Vian Berchet. Vian lives in Maryland. I've had a number of Vian's work in different shows. Again, Vian does a lot of abstract work as well, so I'm really pleased to see this figurative work. This is the first one was called Peaches and Banana. It's watercolor. This one is called Vine Tomato and Bananas. Collage artist Celine Cardwell. Celine is an artist new to the area, I believe. Celine lives in Hyde Park. This is a collage called Fancy Kitchen. Frida, are you here? You are. Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Would you like to join us?
Yes. All right.
Excellent.
Do you hear me?
I can. Welcome.
Okay, great.
This is Frida Christofidis. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep, you did good.
Frida lives in Queens. This is the first piece called Colorful Carrots. And then the second piece is called Chokes. This is a fun piece. I brought a smile to my face. I lived in California for many years, and there were artichokes everywhere. So this brought a smile to my face when I saw it. So please tell us about these two pieces.
So both of them are direct watercolor, done from life, no pre-drawing. And the carrots are carrots I grew. I grew up with a vegetable garden here in Queens, as a kid, and then as my
I'm on the
parents.
Zoom, Blake.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Frida. I muted you by mistake. My apologies. You have to unmute yourself. There you go. I went to
I don't know how much you all heard. Should I start?
last we heard you had a garden in Queens growing up.
Right. So every year I add something new that I'm never grown before. And one year we planted these carrots, and I didn't know when to pull them up. I didn't really know what to do. And by the time we pulled them up, they were giant and colorful and gnarly. And before we ate them, I had to paint them. No one was allowed to eat them. So that's what this is. And the artichokes are actually, I was taking a crit class, a class where you get like prompts and then you get critiqued, and someone mentioned artichokes, and I mean, we always ate them, but I never really paid much mind to them. And then they weren't as easy to find here in New York as they are in California, so I had a really hard time finding them. And then when I did find some, I took a really good look at them. They are the weirdest thing. So I drew them standing up, lying down, cut them open, and spent weeks till they were withered and brown and dry, painting them. And that's what these both are about. I really love doing direct watercolor from life. Almost 99% of what I do is from real life. And if it's too cold to be outside, I bring the outside inside, and do still lives and fruit. And I spend all summer painting my garden and everything I grow.
Multi-use garden.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention the purples, the greens, and the blue in this. I mean, are beautiful pairings. Really, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it is really one of my favorite that I did this summer. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much for
Robert.
joining us. I'm glad to have some more work in the show, and hope to see you soon.
Yep. Thank you. I'll mute myself now. Is that
Yeah, great. Thank you.
okay?
All right, Irene Cohen. Irene, I don't think you're here. No. Irene lives in Palisades, New Jersey.
I'm here.
You are here. Oh, great.
I'm here.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh,
Hi.
yeah. Oh, great. Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Irene has two pieces.
Thank you
this
so
is jugs, and then the second is the onions. So yeah, Irene, please tell us about the works. I don't know which one you want to start with first. Let's start with that.
Sure. Thank you. Hi. I am new to something like this. This is my first ever virtual gallery show. So I'm kind of new to oil painting. Been painting with oils for two and a half years. I am a teacher. I used to paint acrylics.
Okay.
Many years ago, and then I had to stop because I had to take care of my elderly parents. So I had not been painting for 5 years, and then in 2021, I wanted to try oils, and that was it. That was the start of my artistic journey. I am a teacher by day, and then when the day is over, and I start painting, and painting just became part of my life, very important part. So I'm like that baby exploring different genres and styles and mediums, everything. So my first piece is Meet the Jugs, the citrus family. I love colors, and I like the harmony in colors. So you could see that green, which is to me all colors to me portray like some kind of a symbolism. So green is the growth and a new beginning, and then orange is very energetic color, very promising color. So that's what you see. I guess I'm all about, at least for now, about a still life. I also like impressionism. So again, I said I'm exploring because I don't have my artistic style voice yet. And this is my second piece, which is Meet the Veggies, now the Onions family. As you can notice, like for some reason, all these two pieces, these two paintings, they are in a linear way, because I guess I'm a math teacher. Maybe that's because my left side of the brain kind of takes over at times, even though I tell it to take some rest, like you get my right side of the brain to get involved. And I'm trying to. So I see beauty in everyday objects like vases and jugs and like onions that could be not as pretty as we think, but becoming an artist really put me in a way that I observe beauty in those pieces like we never even take a close look at.
Well, I think if this
So-
is, I mean, you were definitely on the right track. If this is new for you, I mean, the colors are so lush. Yeah, they're just gorgeous. So I mean, please continue on with what you've been doing.
Thank you.
These are just gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
I hope it's a good experience for you, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm really, really, really pleased to have these. Another Jersey friend. I'm a Jersey boy, so always happy to see artists from Jersey.
Jersey boy, yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much. I'm very pleased to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene. It was good to meet you. Okay. We have a new piece by Arabella Colton. Arabella is a artist living here in Saugerties, a photographer. I also wanted to mention I had done a show. It's still up on Artsy for Arabella. Probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Back in the 1990s, I lived in San Francisco. Arabella was living in San Francisco at the time as well. And there was a sort of a guerrilla artist that was going around town painting dogs on the walls of different buildings. No one ever found out who it was. And it sort of became a little bit of a scavenger hunt to walk around the city and find these dogs painted on the walls. Well, Arabella went ahead and photographed a number of them. So if you were interested, have a look at that series. It's called The Wall Dogs of San Francisco, and they're beautiful black and white pieces. This is called Kitchen Sink with Water. 2 pieces by Ellen Crimmins. This first piece is called Palm. This is both of these pieces are watercolor, and then Ellen waxes over them. So there's a wax coating over the watercolor, which gives it a whole different dimension and vibrancy, I believe, to the work. Okay. A new piece from Shelley Davis. This is a mixed media piece called In the Kitchen. Shelley's a very prolific artist living here in Malden on the Hudson. It's a little hamlet over in Saugerties. One thing that I especially like about Shelley is that she's like I said, she's very prolific, and her work is a lot of fun, and she always challenges herself to come up with new works, especially if I have theme shows. There's quite a bit of Shelley's work on different shows on Artsy, if you'd like to have a look at those. 2 pieces by Chuck Dorr. Chuck, are you here? No? I thought you were going to join us. Okay, that's fine. 2 pieces by Charles Dorr. This is called White Lies. White Lies is about food, nutrition, and health, what we were raised in and what we know now. Imagine butter and sugar on white bread, a poisonous treat for sure. This is the first piece. And then the second piece is called Do the White Thing. White milk, white wedding, red, white, and blue, white lies. Never know where I'll go when I start. Once started being at collage, paint, or pencil, I'm lucky to know what to do next and know what to finish. Both of these pieces are collage works. There's a number of Chuck's works in different shows as well. Next, we have a gorgeous piece by Mary Elwin. Mary lives in West Hurley, New York. This is called Chinese Bowl with Embroidery. It's oil on linen, and it's 9 by 12. This Chinese hand-painted porcelain bowl is a favorite of mine and appears in a number of my paintings. Mine meaning Mary. The antique red silk embroidery was purchased on a month-long adventure through China. Rachel G. Rachel is a new artist for the gallery as well. Rachel lives in Albany, New York. This is called Admiring Aluminum, and it's a reduction wood block on paper. Rachel made this piece to celebrate both her love of seltzer as well as her appreciation of metal cans. In a world where recycling systems are also confusing or misleading, cans have a designated deposit system with the ability to be recycled virtually infinitely. Welcome, Rachel. Another beautiful piece by Denise Giardulo. Let me pull up a different one if I think there's a no. Sorry about that. So I've got a number of Denise's works online in the artsy shows. Denise is a very prolific artist. Where is it? There we go. She uses many mediums. She's a fiber artist. This piece is a watercolor piece called Fish. Denise does a lot of, she works with encaustic, with collage, with mixed media. So this is as I said, it's called Fish. It's a watercolor. It's 16 by 20. A piece by Jeff Helmuth. Jeff is a drafter by trade, I believe. And this is a little different for him. His lines are always so intricate. You could tell that he's very versed in using thin.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, please go get that.
One. So this is called Cherries by Jeff Helmuth here in Saugerties. Susan, are you here? No, I don't think so. Two pieces by Susan Greenstein. Susan lives in Brooklyn. This first piece is called Green Bowl with Fruit and Tulips. It's a watercolor. When I was growing up, big bowls always meant that something bountiful and delicious was going to be made. When I set this bowl up, I was reminded of getting ready to pull up my sleeves and help to make some complicated salad or a pastry, and how much fun it would be to help follow all the necessary steps. So this is the first piece. The second piece is called Red and Green. This is watercolor as well. And this is 15 by 20. One of the things I love about many kitchens are those touches of red. Actually, I've got touches of red in my kitchen too. It's a yellow kitchen with touches of red, and I have art there. One of the so maybe it's an old kettle or the spine of a cookbook, a label on a can, or some ripe tomato resting on a table. But red always seems to pop up in kitchens. When I decided to paint these objects, I fell in love with the bright reds and the greens accompanying them, and I knew those colors would be taking the lead in this painting. So this is called Red and Green. It's watercolor. This is a fun piece. By John Hampshire. This is John lives in Troy, New York. This is called The Pampered Chef Gina, and it's a really fun portrait. This is a photograph by Christine Henninger. Christine lives in Grand Island, Vermont. This is digital photography. In my work, I look for beauty in the everyday environment. A change of perspective can transform the mundane into the magical. I use composition, color, light, texture, and line to bring the beauty of the subject to the fore. And this one is called Snack. Julia, are you here, Julia? Julia Giusto. No? Oh, I was hoping you would join us. This is this is a fabric piece, fiber art by Julia Giusto. Let me read a little bit about the series. This project explores labor, memory, and migration via textile works while portraying immigrants working as street food vendors. Julia asked her subjects to send her photos of themselves at their place of work. She created embroidery works based on those images. Community members are not just involved in the project, but they are co-designers and co-creators of the project. Due to the legal status, participating workers in this project decided not to reveal their identities. The medium of embroidery allows Julia to acknowledge the contributions of the immigrant workers she portrayed, while at the same time conceal and protect their identities. This first one is called Marcella and Ava Chocolate Truffle Vendors. And then the second one is called Amelia and Evelyn Empanada Vendors. Fiber art is something that I've been really interested in lately. And I think I may do a fiber show coming up because I think artists are using fiber and materials in so many creative ways. So it's Julia Giusto. Marina, are you here? Marina Katz-Nelson. Yes. Marina, did you want to come up and talk about the two pieces? This first piece is called That's How I Roll. The second piece is called Calories Don't Count. Both of these pieces are oils on vintage newspaper and aluminum. The sushi piece, this one-of-a-kind oil painting, captures the essence of sushi and the grace of chopsticks, painted on a unique newspaper aluminum panel. It's a perfect to enhance a kitchen decor. The second piece by Marina, Calories Don't Count, although I bet you these calories do count. This is oil as well. They're small pieces. They're 9 by 9. Two really beautiful pieces by now pardon me if I mispronounced your name, Helia. Helia Ibrahimi Hajar Kermani. Two really gorgeous pieces from Helia. Helia lives in Houston, Texas. This first piece, oh, are you seeing?
No, we're not seeing it.
Hold on.
There we go.
Let me try to bring this up again. No, for some reason it's not coming up, or I'm not seeing it. Okay. But this is the first piece, Gold Spoon Amongst Vintage Silver Forks and Knives. And this is acrylic on porcelain plates. And then it's framed in a box. The second one, and again, the image is not coming up. Sorry about that. The second one is called Cherries and Silverware Play. So Helia seeks to show beauty, and for this exact purpose in the last few years, she chose plates. In her opinion, the circular form of plates can be difficult and simultaneously interesting medium in order to make a beautiful composition. She tried to achieve beauty by coordinating the color spots, which are the fruits, and the proportions between the shapes of the metal utensils, while staying faithful to the old and nostalgic roles of Iranian plates. Really beautiful and a fantastic use of plates, I think. Martha Klein, 3 small pieces from Martha. Martha lives in Hurley. These are three different pears. This is green pear. This is red pear. And then the third is yellow-green pear. They're all 7x5. Pears often involve a friendly feeling in Martha, as if each one is its own tiny yet distinct personality. She often paints them as if they were people with unique characteristics, each to their own being. Sometimes she even has a person in mind, painting them portrait style, albeit in pear form. So these are three of Martha's pear pieces. And Martha lives in Hurley, New York. Lisa Cole. Lisa, I think I saw you here.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, I'm here.
hold on. Scrolling through. Oh, I see you. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to pull you up. Hi,
Okay.
Lisa. Welcome.
Hi there. Thank you. And thank you very much for including my piece in the show.
Absolutely. It's another artichoke piece. I love
It's
it.
another artichoke piece. You know, it's actually a bit of a departure for me. I usually paint nature and wildlife, and I like to try to depict awareness and thought in animals. And I found myself after doing this still life, it seemed I was depicting awareness and thought between a fruit and a vegetable. I was, you know, I'd worked with the composition, and I was, you know, I kind of got, I wanted to do something a little different, and I thought it would be interesting to combine the artichoke with one of its recipe partners as kind of just some kind of a spin. So I put the artichoke and the lemon next to one another on a paper towel, and it really seemed like there was this flash of awareness between the two of them. And I felt like that little lemon was looking up at the artichoke and kind of naively, or possibly ill-advisedly, saying, well, what's going to happen next? And that's the basis for the title. Now what? I tried to kind of use that to to kind of energize myself, to try to get that kind of dynamic into the painting. And I think it worked. I think it worked. I think that, you feel a certain amount of personality between the two subjects. And it actually reminded me that it's always important in a piece to include some kind of conjecture, some kind of question, some kind of fantasy.
Again, with this one, and it's a real nice balance of the colors. The blue in the back, I think, goes really nice with especially the yellow.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
and I kept it. It's really just it's basically just three colors. It's one yellow, one red, one blue, and everything else was mixed. It's mixed to sort of create a sort of harmony, I think, throughout the piece. So thank you.
Is watercolor usually your standard medium?
I work in a number of different mediums. Lately, mostly watercolor. I'm a glazer. This actually is a piece that I painted directly, and I more often am a glazer. But when I paint directly, as you can see, I think I use the colors pretty intensely.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, welcome, Lisa. Good to meet
you very much.
And hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Just a little note, if you hear a little complaining, I have a very hungry kitty at my foot right now. So George is just being a little spoiled boy. He still has another hour and a half before he eats. So pardon that. Okay, two really wonderful watercolor pieces by Oksana Lerman. Oksana lives in Brooklyn. This piece is called Peas, and then the second piece is called Lemons. Hold on for 1 second. Inspired by the classical realism movement, I learned to mix contemporary and intricate techniques through my work. As an artist, I inspire through my unrivaled technical in applying single transparent watercolor by botanical painting, mushrooms, birds, fish, and insects. So it's two really pretty pieces from Oksana. I love botanical art. Barbara, are you here? No? Oh, you are. Wonderful. Okay, Barbara, you're on. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, good to see you. How you been?
I'm okay.
Good, good. All right. So Barbara has a number of pieces at the gallery. This piece is called Modern Cuisine circa 1956. And then the second piece is a real fun piece, Eat It Geisha Sushi. So it seems to be a little bit of sushi theme here in the show, which I'm pleased for. So Barbara, welcome. Love these pieces. They are both new. And I say this every time I see you, but I'm always so pleased to see what you come up with next. And I like these two pieces a lot. This one, there's a lot going on. So please tell us about these pieces, and let us know what you're up to.
Okay, thank you. This one, I came upon these stickers that had old-fashioned kind of 1950s food on them, and I thought it would be fun to do that as a theme. It's sort of like the way food was before Julia Child came onto the scene. And 1956, I was born in 1956, so that's kind of why I did that. I wanted it to be on a very rich background of different colors and almost like fabrics. And I made a triptych on there and then placed the stickers, in places on there that worked for me. And because you wanted sort of a kitchen theme, I had this old book that was sort of a young adult book from the 1950s that I had recently pulled out, and it had these illustrations on it of a small family from the 1950s eating breakfast. So there's the mom pouring coffee, the dad reading his newspaper, and I can't see it from here, but there's the girl and the boy also. So that kind of put it there. Okay, so that kind of pulled it together for me. I just thought that was kind of a fun thing to do.
For sure. What about the second piece?
This one actually is a little bit of a departure for me because it is. I wanted it to be it could be an advertisement for. It's called Eat at Geisha Sushi with an exclamation point, and I wanted it to look like it could be, like a flyer for them. So I made a geisha girl to start, almost, like a paper doll type geisha girl, and then placed the sushi around it, around her. And I just thought I had fun with it. And that's a lot of bright color.
Barbara, it sort of reminds me a little bit of your line drawings. The one line drawings, it's got a lot of the same kind of flow and movement of your line drawings. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks.
All right. I encourage you to go have a look at Barbara Tepper-Levy's work on Artsy. There's quite a bit, and there's some collage. There's watercolor. There's many different styles and mediums. But it's all very Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. Good to see you.
Thanks. Thank you, Robert.
Jasper, my best.
Yeah, Jasper's still asleep.
Take care now. All right, Linda Linton. Linda, I don't think you're here. There are two pieces by Linda Linton. Linda is a wonderful, mostly oil painter who from Woodstock, from Britain, but lived in Woodstock for many years. That's how I know Linda, and then she recently moved up to Vermont. This first piece is called Clementines. The second piece is called Peppers. I do have a solo show of Linda's on Artsy. She spent about a year exploring the Sawkill River here in the Hudson Valley, which starts all the way up into the mountains and winds its way down through many, many communities into the Hudson River. So Linda spent a year exploring the river, talking to folks in the community, and doing some plein air. There's some gorgeous, gorgeous Hudson Valley landscapes in that series, and that's on Artsy. Okay, you are going to see my big face for a big second while I switch over to the next screen. And let me show you what I'm looking at.
Hello?
Marjorie, you here?
Marina.
Oh, Marina.
Yes, I'm so sorry. This is the first time I was on Zoom. So basically, I didn't realize I need to unmute it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I had gone through your work before. Let me pull it up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. So my name is Marina, and I'm very excited to be at your gallery, present my work. And a little bit of me, I'm a pharmacist, and I started painting a few years ago and it became my passion. And one of my favorite subjects is the kitchen art. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to basically take some ordinary pieces around me and make them extraordinary.
Nice.
My first thing,
I'm showing you the sushi piece that you have.
yeah, the sushi, I just like I try to name them like the piece called That's How I Roll. That's How I Roll.
Mhm.
And this is, you see the beautiful, delicious, sophisticated piece of sushi on a white plate. And I always use lately as a background newspaper or map to give some, maybe another layer of thinking and interpretation of my art.
I wanted
So
to ask, I was curious about the aluminum and the newspaper. So is it on an aluminum panel and then sort of covered with newspaper?
No, it's not covered. This is like aluminum. It's like a print of the paper or newspaper I like, or map or whatever.
Okay.
And then I utilize the background to create different looking still life.
Gotcha.
So the having paper on the back gives me some more interest to look at the still life for myself.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah.
So this like sushi and the vintage newspaper gives you a little bit maybe nostalgic moment. In the meantime, my second art, the fruit tart, it's like delicious fruit tart, and in the background you see the paper. So something is delicious and still life, but the life goes on all around us. It's something for interpretation. And I try to make it realistic and delicious. And as a kitchen art, I think it creates some ambience when you put in the kitchen. That's it. And I love it. I love to paint
They're
food.
beautiful. I love them. I especially like the sushi piece. I think they're really a lot of fun. I'm glad you came up because I know you were scheduled to talk.
Yes, thank you so much for giving me opportunity. Like so late, I kind of like whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Good to meet you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, next I have Marjorie Magid. Marjorie, I'm gonna pull you up. Where are you? Oh, here we go. You are muted, Marjorie, if you want to unmute yourself. All right. Are you here? Marjorie? No? Stop, George. No, I don't. Okay. No. All right. So this is a piece by Marjorie Magid. Marjorie is an artist living in Saugerties. Whenever I see Marjorie's work, it always brings a smile to my face. She's got a real whimsical take on just life, I think. But especially on her paintings. This is a self-portrait of her flipping an omelet. Hold on. I had done a solo show for Marjorie as well a few years ago. She likes working with a lot of vintage inspirations, old vintage travel guides. She does some landscape, all in this very whimsical style. So I encourage you to go have a look at some more of Marjorie's work as well. Kendall Matsuka. Kendall lives in Port Ewan, New York, in the Hudson Valley. This is called Rooster Crossing. It's acrylic and marker, 24 by 24. It's a fun little piece of a pissed off rooster. Subjects in her work are usually broad and accompanied by mixed mediums. Her work is a reminder that ultimately anything can remain a mystery.
Robert,
Yes.
we're not seeing the artwork.
You're not. Oh, thank
No.
you. Let me hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
All right, great. Let me just go back and show you the last two that I was talking about. All right, so I think we were missing Marjorie's. Here's Marjorie Maggot's piece called Flipping the Omelet. And then this is Kendall Matsuka's piece that I was just talking about. Okay. Two pieces by John Mano. This is called Seven Salt Shakers. This is all photography. I believe it's still a catalog photography that with a lighting set. And then the second piece of John's, pull up, is the Hen of the Woods mushrooms, which is a really lovely mushroom if you're a fan of the mushrooms. And these are both photography, traditional photography, 8 by 20. This is a piece by Carlos Metsu, who lives in Brooklyn. This is called Girl with Fruits. It's acrylic on canvas. It's 34 by 24. Carlos works with young people, and he just wanted to capture their level of imagination in this piece. Here, a young girl that interacts with fruit. This is also a perspective of the kitchen where he used to live. Carlos defined his style as pop geometric. We have a piece by Hadass Melamed. Hadass lives in Kingston. This is called Three Cheers, Please. This is watercolor. Hadass is another very prolific artist who uses a number of different mediums, watercolor, collage, acrylic. She does some abstract work, some realism. So this is a little different from the work that I know of Hadass's pieces. Two pieces by Melanie Mintz. Melanie is a new artist for the gallery. This is Melanie lives in Germantown. This piece is called Plate of Apples. It's acrylic on canvas, 24 by 20. And then the second piece is called Orange Collage, which is also this is mixed media on board. The painting shows the contrast of color between the fruit and the plates. I wanted an abstracted view using handmade paper and paint, not an exact representation or form of the color. A really interesting piece by new artist for the gallery, Jeremy Morales, who lives in Pomona, New York. This is called We All We Got. It's banana peels, permanent alcohol paint, acrylic paint, collage, and epoxy resin on canvas. This work is at first tongue-in-cheek in reference to humanity as a whole, yet the harm that commercial products also bring to humanity, namely child labor across the world throughout history and pesticides that have been used in Dole bananas since the 1970s and early 80s that cause male infertility among Southern American workers. I always like art with a message. Olga, are you here? No? Olga Nananhizvina. And I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. And Olga, if you're watching, my apologies for that. Olga lives in New York. This is called Picnic Travelers. It's Sumi ink on archival paper. It's 30 by 40. In this piece, I sought to explore the delicate veil between the mundane and the mythical. Each stroke of ink on the expansive 30 by 40-inch paper canvas was an intentional effort to capture the essence of a world where the divine casually intersects with human experience. And there's so much incredible detail in this piece. Two pieces by Emily Normer. If you have a loved one who is a butcher, this is perfect for them. The first piece is called Leg Segment. The second piece is called Shank. Emily lives in Highland, New York. These are both oil on paper. The group of small paintings is from her series Raw Material, and the subject matter obviously is uncooked meat. There is a certain disgusting beauty in their depiction, and oil paints are a perfect medium to capture their sweaty, glistening allure. She painted them from life, or perhaps death is more accurate. Wonderful watercolor piece by Jacqueline Oster. This piece is called Sizzle. It's, as I said, it's watercolor. It's 9 by 12. Jacqueline lives in West Hurley. Jacqueline's a real prolific artist, all pretty much watercolor. This is one of many pieces that are on the gallery site. Anastasia Pena. Anastasia, are you here?
I am. Hi.
Wonderful.
Hi.
Let me bring you up. I just saw you. No. Oh, here you are. Wonderful. Hi, Anastasia. Good to meet you.
Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you. My name's Anastasia. I am currently in New York. I'm in graduate school at Hunter, and this was a piece I did during the pandemic. So it's smaller. It's a drawing. It's 18 by 12. I'm a painter, but naturally during the pandemic, I was doing a lot of drawing. I definitely identify as kind of being a process-based artist. So what I mean by that is I work very much like on a move-by-move basis. So for this one in particular, I folded the piece of paper in half, and you can kind of see the crease. It's a drawing with acrylic and colored pencil. So I worked on one half of the drawing and then unfolded it, and that gave me like something to respond to. And as an abstract artist, I kind of find that I repeat myself in terms of some shapes that I come to intuitively, and a lot of them look like avocados. So I thought that I saw that here twice. And I like the avocado also as like a shape that has its own kind of inherent repetition of like the core imitating the overall shape.
I was really hoping that I would get some abstract submissions, and I really didn't get many. I think you're one of two that's in the show of the abstract. But when I saw, without even looking at the title, I immediately thought avocado because there's an avocado right in the center there.
Cool, yeah.
Really, really like the balance of color. I'm just so drawn to color, and I think you do this beautifully. So
Thank
yeah.
you.
And that pink and the yellow are just fantastic.
Thank you.
Is it mostly acrylic that you use, or do you use other mediums?
Yeah. Well, in my own work, I use acrylic and oil in terms of painting. In this piece, it's acrylic and colored pencil, and that area in the middle kind of like there starts to be like a little bit of resist. It's fun to do like a waxed based like colored pencil with acrylic, and I'm really into like how different materials can kind of work together, work against each other. So I like using more than one paint or
Yeah.
drawing tool.
And there's some color pencil in this as well, right?
Yeah, right. So the colored pencil, I think, happened in that spot in the green below the acrylic, and then the acrylic went on top, and then so it creates like a kind of watered effect. And then other times I'll put the color pencil on top of the acrylic, which works a lot better than underneath. But it's just some kind of play that keeps the work interesting for me as I draw.
Great. Well, it's a really gorgeous piece. I'm really, really pleased to have it in the show.
Thank you. It's great to hear everyone's work and be a part of the show.
Thank you. Thanks. Good luck with the new semester. I guess a new semester just started. Or
Yeah.
a month ago or
Thank
so.
you.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
are you studying?
totally in it. So Hunter's interdisciplinary, but I am very much into painting, doing a lot of paintings. So a lot of painting.
Great. Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
I'd love to see what more you have going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Marjorie, I see you're here. Do you want to come up and talk a little bit about the piece? I had already presented it, but if you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah. Hi. Okay. Sorry
All right.
about that. I couldn't get either my video or my audio working. So
Okay. So go ahead and tell us about the piece. Bring it up.
okay,
Like,
well, obviously I did the piece for the show, and
it's fun.
when
I
it
like
was kitchen art, food for thought, I'll do something of me in the kitchen, preparing food, because that's kitchen art. And so I had my husband take a picture of me with the frying pan, obviously not with the omelet, because there's no way I could flip an omelet like that. And I had a lot of fun painting it. It was a big challenge. There were probably more details than I usually put into something, and I invented the egg, but I had a really good time doing it, and I like the way it came out, and people seem to like it and think it's a lot of fun, so that gives me a lot of pleasure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Always pleased to have your work in the shows.
Thank you.
As I said,
Likewise.
it always brings a smile to my face.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Marjorie.
Good to see you, Rob.
Soon. Okay, I have a drawing by Nicole Piper. Nicole lives in Saratoga Springs, New York. This is Garlic 2. It's pen on watercolor paper. We're just running a little behind, so I'm gonna go through some of these a little quicker than I normally would. This is by Sam Parker, who lives in Los Angeles. In the Shadows of Life. I'm sorry. It's a digital print on paper. It's collaged. It's 24 by 36. And it's stacking all fast foods. There's Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. And it's influenced by a pre-Raphaelite work. Denise.
Hi.
Hi. Denise Pollock, really, really pleased to have this piece. I think it's a gorgeous piece. I've been to Lancaster many, many times over the years, and this brings me right back there. So please tell us about this piece, which is called The Amish Girl.
Right. So I enjoy going to the Allentown Farmers Market and fairgrounds to buy, they have like Amish food and vegetables and meats and like interesting specialties there. And we live in a very diverse community, and there's a lot of very interesting people that shop there, that work there. And whenever I go, I always try to like quickly snap a few pictures for inspiration for future paintings. The problem is people tend to shy away or don't want me to take their picture or cover their faces. So I asked this girl if she would let me take her picture, and she was very hesitant. And finally she said, okay, just quick because I'm working. So I just took like 2 or 3 pictures of her. And then I said, I'll be back and I'll show you what I do with it. So when I finished the painting, I made a small print on canvas, about a 5 by 7. And I brought it back and I had it framed beautifully and I gave it to her. And she was just like so thrilled. She was like, this is the nicest present no one ever gave me. And we don't usually take pictures. And it was just very nice that she reacted that way. So I still go back there and try to, when I can, just get some pictures of some of the people that are there for inspiration for paintings.
It's really beautiful. It's a real delicate, I mean, the facial expression, I think is really just beautiful. It's a real moody piece, I felt. And I mean, what a really, really terrific gift that you had given this girl.
Well,
And this is oil, correct?
yes, it's oil on linen, actually. Yes.
Okay. And is oil your usual medium?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
You do mostly figurative work?
I try to mix it up. I'll throw in a landscape or a still life sometimes. It really depends. I mean, lately I've been doing a lot more figures, but I like figures in an environment. So I don't like just doing like, a Kodak moment, like a picture, So I've been trying to integrate some other interesting background items.
Great. Well, this is really beautiful. I've been using it for some promotions. I think I mean, it doesn't scream kitchen, but I think this is a beautiful, beautiful piece for a kitchen.
Well, thank you.
Just the subtlety of it is really wonderful.
Thank you.
Great to meet you, Denise. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for including me.
Yes. Okay, I have two pieces by Eileen Power. This first piece is called The Mighty Turnip. It's a small piece. The Mighty Turnip is 6 by 6. And then the second piece is called Apple. And this one, Mighty Turnip was oil on panel, and this one is oil on panel as well. This is 6 by 6 too. And Eileen lives in Woodstock, New York. Stacy, another Jersey friend. Here you are. Excellent. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you. Thank you as always.
This has to be out, right?
Yes, it is.
I figured that.
I did this early in the pandemic. I did a really small series. It didn't really take off, but I did get a few really great pieces out of it. And this was one of them. It's a small painting. It's only 24 by 24. It's oil on wood. And he's in our tiny little galley kitchen, making this amazing dessert that he found that are these like fried ricotta balls over a bed of like chocolate crumbles. And what he's making currently in the photo is this raspberry sauce that goes over them. And it's just heavenly. So I had snapped this photo of him, and I really loved the stacked composition of it. It reminded me when I first started painting, I started in oils, and I bought all these books that taught you how to paint like the old masters with all this layering and everything. But the composition of it made me think of those Renaissance paintings where everything had like some kind of special something in place, and everything was so stacked into the space. And so I loved playing with all that, the fruit baskets in the background and all of that. It was just such a fun painting to do.
It's very different than well, I mean, I know mostly your sculptural works. Stacy Pritchard, I didn't introduce her. I'm sorry. Stacy's
yes.
And Stacy's got a little bit of a dark, whimsical side to her as well. It's sculptural pieces, and I'm always excited to see your works in progress, because you do post a lot on social media.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, very different from a lot of the work that I know of yours, even even your drawings and paintings.
Yeah, it's a kind of a very traditional study for me.
Yes, yeah,
in many ways.
So I was happy to see it come in, and I knew it was yours because I recognized Al. I knew that right away, rather than your style.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised and really pleased.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. Always a pleasure to see you, and I hope to make it down to your area sometime soon, and would love to see you. All right. Elaine, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you are. Oh, great. Excellent.
Hi, Robert.
I
How
have
are you?
two pieces by Elaine Ralston. Elaine is an artist living in Olive, right? You live in
Yes,
Yes.
Olive Bridge.
Olive.
Mhm.
This first piece is called Bowl of Pears. The second piece is called Chef's Choice. I've had Elaine's work in a number of different shows over the years, and I'm always pleased to have her work. She's a really fantastic pastel artist. So welcome, Elaine. Tell us about these guys.
Thank you, Robert. Well, the bowl of pears were took me a long time to do this one, and by the time I finished, the pears were all moldy. So by the time I finished the layering and everything, so but the red pears is what started the whole theme of started with the red pears, then it went, and I said, oh, I need more in the bowl, and then I kept adding, and I said, oh, I need more in the background. So then I kept working the still life, and then I painted the bowl first, and I mean, I painted the pears first, and then the bowl afterwards, so that's why the pears kind of got moldy in the bowl by the time I finished it. I'm kind of a slow painter.
That's
And
okay.
these, I happened to stop by Cheese Louise on 28 there, and she had some fresh cut garlic, which I didn't go there for garlic, I went there for cheese, but I wound up coming home with these pieces of garlic, and I put them in a wooden bowl, and everything's better with garlic. That's where I feel.
I agree.
That's what I called it Chef's Choice.
Yes, and if you're a fan of garlic, Saugerties has a garlic festival every year in the fall. So come on over.
Great. That's great.
Any form you want. Elaine, I love the yellow in this.
Oh, good.
Really, really vibrant, and I think that just the whole gradation is done really well.
Thank you, Robert.
And Elaine also she curates a lot of the shows over at the Olive Library, or you're on the committee. I know you have a lot of guest curators, and I'll be one in the fall. But I just wanted to say that she does a really fantastic job at the exhibits that they do over at the library in Olive. They have a great exhibition space, and they use it really, really well. So Hudson Valley artists, if you're not familiar with the work that they do over there, I definitely encourage you to have a look and submit to some of their shows.
Yeah, the next one coming up is In Search of the Goddess.
Great. And where can they find info about it?
Yeah, online. If you go to Olive Free Library, you can sign up for their newsletter, and they have a call for art on there, and also they tell you what shows are happening.
Great. All right. Great to see you, Elaine.
Yeah, thanks, Robert.
Hi to Ruby and Francis.
Okay, I'll tell them.
Take care.
Bye.
I have two pieces by another Jersey gal. This is Lauren Rosenblum. This piece is called Market Heap, and then the second piece is called Rooted. They are both oil on a wooden panel. Okay. Two pieces by John Scribner. This first piece is called Sweet Daub. And this is a framed piece. Let me bring it up so you can see a little more. And then the second piece is a little sculptural piece. This is called The Persistence of Pot, and it's a fun piece. John lives in New York City, and he does a lot of 3D work, sculptural pieces, and also wood hangings. So that's John. We've got a photograph by John T. Smith, who lives in Saugerties. This is called Rome, and it is a market in Rome. This is the other abstract piece by Marjorie Sopkin, who lives in Guilford, Connecticut. This piece is called Leftovers. It may seem like a stretch, but let's think about food and leftovers and waste. This piece is a conceptual statement about exactly that. Many times we cook more than we need, either because we don't know how many mouths we're feeding, or because we want leftovers, so we don't have to bother cooking twice in a row, or because we need to use up the food in the fridge before it spoils. From the U.S. Department of Agriculture, food loss and waste is estimated to be roughly 1/3 of the food intended for human consumption in the United States. So this is basically her exploring the whole idea of waste and leftovers in some leftover paints. Two pieces by Mara Spain. Mara lives in Guilford, Connecticut. I'm sorry. Mara lives in New York, New York. This is called Thesmorphia 1, the presentation, oil on canvas. The second piece is called Thesmorphia 2, Assertion. It's inspired by an ancient Greek fertility festival called Thesmorphia, an opportunity for women married off and torn apart to reunite. Figs, pomegranates, and honey emerged in Thesmorphia documentation, and the braid references a shearing ritual preceding both their wedding and yearly funerals. Okay, I wanted to bring up Claire.
Hi.
Hi, Claire. Let me just bring up your piece. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Why it's not on here? I'm sorry.
I saw it below.
Is it here?
There
Oh,
it is, to the right.
All right, excellent. Welcome, Claire. This is called Quiet Lunch. It's a really, really pleasing palette here.
Thank
So
you.
please tell us about this piece.
Okay, well, you don't really see food in this piece, and my husband helped me select it when I was entering the show, and I'm very pleased to be a part of the gallery and in this show, so thank you. This is actually a restaurant, Enoteca in Cortona, Italy, where we live part-time, and where I eat many quick lunch or dinner, cenina, which is a quick small dinner. And I chose it because the empty table, it can symbolize a kitchen, even though it is a restaurant. And I chose it because the empty table kind of is symbolic of what happened there before and what may be happening in the future. Just like what awaits there, what happened at that table. You know, you have the background with the bottles and the basket in the back and the archway. It's all this ancient architecture, which is like tables and chairs, and just kind of inviting, you know, who's going to sit there, what will take place. My process is I sketch a lot. So while I'm there, wherever I go, I have my sketch pad, and my process is to enlarge the original sketch with a scanning process onto watercolor paper, the black ink, and then I paint them in my studio. And that's to keep the spontaneity of the line and the gesture of the drawing. So that's this process that I've been working with and been quite successful with. The arch almost is rainbow-like to me, and the light I just thought was evoked food. The yellows and the natural colors and the greens and oranges are kind of the colors we've been looking at in all the food. So I just thought it was kind of inviting. It's an interesting place. I call it Imola, and actually one of my paintings hangs in that restaurant. But the name of it is Enoteca, the actual restaurant, and it's this little quiet place. But it can have music at night. Sometimes movie stars come in there, but it's just this quiet little place, and it's just a go-to place for me. And it has the most wonderful bread. It's called chachicha, which is like a flat bread, and it's probably the only warm thing. It's mostly like cheeses and cold cuts and tuna and salad, but it's just very inviting, and it reminded me of a kitchen at home. and that's why I selected it.
Well, and I'm glad you brought this. You spoke to two of these, but two of the things that really drew me to this piece was the arch and just how it just does resemble a rainbow, and the yellow of a real sunny sky. And I really like the whole idea of how I mean this is it draws the viewer in and encourages the viewer to create their own scene. It's almost in a way like a blank canvas where you can just come on in and create your story. Like you said, there's probably many things that went on at that table, and there's many things that will go on at that table. And as a viewer, I really like that idea of being invited to add to your painting by creating your own story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Claire. And you tell me where you're from, Claire.
I'm from Queens, New York. My studio is in Long Island City. I've been painting and teaching art all my life. And I live in Cortona, Italy, part-time, where I have a studio and I'm in a gallery there.
Beautiful. I'm sure it's very inspiring.
Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Well, thank you so much, Claire. It's really a pleasure to meet you, and I hope to see some more of your work.
You as well. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, I have a pastel piece by Judy Stanger. Judy is a pastel artist living in Stonebridge. This is called Apples. Judy is very inspired by Cape Cod, Provincetown in particular. So she does a lot of landscapes of that area, and you could see lots of her work on the Artsy site. A very different piece from Cindy Sumerano. I was really surprised to see that this was Cindy's work. Cindy has a little bit of a dark side and a real playful side as well. So I was surprised to see that this was Cindy's. It's called We Gathered What We Could. It's acrylic on canvas, and Cindy lives in Hurley. Two photographs by Andrea Swenson. Andrea lives in Nyack, New York. This first piece is called Peas, and then the second piece is called Eggs. Although I don't think these are real eggs. I think they're paper eggs. I keep zooming in on them, and I don't know if that's the shadow or if it's texturized eggs. I wish Andrea was here. I'd love to ask her that. Okay, we're getting to winding down to the end. This is called Stew by Faye Wood. Faye is a very prolific artist here in Saugerties. I did a solo show, or that's still up, for Faye called Arrange Whatever Pieces Come Your Way. It's a nice selection of Faye's work from she has a lot of collage pieces from some vintage magazines. She has a number of sculptural pieces. These are some flowers that she made out of common tools in the garden, in the garage. And then this is her latest series of that she started during COVID. And they are figurative works, all made. It was formed in chicken wire, and then all of the outside is coated wire that's been crocheted, and then adhered to the chicken wire form. All of the pieces are all interacting with rings of some kind. So I encourage you to go have a look at Faye's work as well. This is a charcoal piece by Lynn Woods. Lynn lives in Kingston, New York, and this is called Kitchen Arrangement. Lynn is working on a whole series of street scenes in New York. Very different than this, but I'm hoping to have some more up on Artsy soon. And then our last piece is by Blake Zucker, and I'm really pleased to have Blake here. Blake, thanks for being so patient and for waiting. I'm sure having a last name of Zucker, you're probably used to waiting until the end, especially if it's an alphabetical order. So I'm going to bring you up so you can talk about your piece, but you need to unmute yourself in order for us to hear you. And this is called Tea Time. Are you here, Blake? I can see you, but oh, there you are.
Hello.
Hi, Blake. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and about Tea Time. I know you most of your work is all pottery, correct?
Yes.
Is it hand thrown pottery or?
Oh yes, it's
okay.
Definitely will foam. This teapot is made using a stonework clay body called wheat stone, and the glazes that's I made myself, and it's been firing this gas reduction kiln as you saw from last time. Which I built it with my mentor, and it fires up to like 2,500 degrees.
Wow.
And because this teapot is fired such a high temperature, it'll hold your tea, warmer a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it won't be so hot when you touch it too, because it's been fired so hot.
Blake, let me ask you: Have you fooled around with different techniques like raku or using
Actually, been doing some raku firing as we speak.
Oh, excellent! Great.
And I also do wood firing too.
Nice.
Once a year.
Oh, very nice.
I try to do every different firing I can find out there.
Do you work with you have your own studio at home, right? Do you work with
yes.
with any potters in the area that have big kilns? Because I know like up here in the Hudson Valley, we have a few potters that they get together maybe once a month or so, and they all put everything into the kiln at once. And it's always exciting to see what comes out.
I do that with the wood kiln.
Oh, with the wood, yeah.
Because that's a much better kiln than what I have. And that takes like a whole team of people to keep stoking and keeping the kiln going.
Oh yeah, excellent. And how long do you keep the kiln going, typically?
The gas kiln is about a full day.
All right. And you said you made your own glazes, right?
Yes.
That's impressive.
The overlay.
Yeah.
Part of this, I overlay some of the glazes. So that it's got this cool pattern.
Yeah. They're a beautiful piece. The beautiful work, Blake.
Thank you.
I'm always pleased to see something come in from you.
Thank you.
And I hope to see more.
Yes, you will definitely be seeing a lot more.
Great. Keep me updated
on
what.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. It's good to see you in virtually. But it's good to see you in person, I guess.
Yeah. I would love to meet each other in person.
All right. Hopefully that'll happen. All right. Thank you so much, Blake. Say hi to your mom for me. Hi, Robin, if you're there.
Hello.
All right. Thank you so much, Blake.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. So that is food for thought. I'm gonna just close this out and you're just gonna see a big me. So that's food for thought. I did want to mention I've got a few I've got 2 calls for art that are out right now. The first one is called Neutral. I've been neutral colors these days, especially with this current generation, a lot of people are really stripping their lives down, minimalizing things, decluttering, and they're decorating with very neutral colors. Neutral colors have been quite popular lately and are on the rise. So I do have a call for art out now with the theme of neutral colors. They could be different browns, blacks, whites, rusts, but all very neutral color. It's all different styles and mediums will be accepted and considered. The second show that I have is my annual Art and Words show. Now, this is to celebrate National Poetry Month, which is in April. Over the last couple of years, it's always been a by invite exhibit where I would invite a handful of artists and a handful of poets to inspire each other in creating new artwork inspired by a poem or new poetry inspired by an artwork. I've had a lot of requests from artists to open it up. So this year, I am still doing the Art and Words show. However, it's opened up to open submissions, and what I'm looking for is artwork that is inspired by a particular poem. It could be a classical poem. It could be something contemporary. It could be an original poem by the artist or a friend of the artist. So that call is open as well for National Poetry Month, which is in April. So it's the 2 calls are Neutral and Art and Words. I did want to mention for the folks in the Hudson Valley that poetry is always been a passion of mine. That's my art. And every year I collaborate with a group in town called Shout Out Saugerties in exposing the public to poetry. So what we did was we're collecting poems from local poets, which will be featured in the different merchant shops in the village of Saugerties. So it's a wonderful opportunity for people to come into town, explore the town, and while you're doing that, just stop at all of the shops and read the poem in their window. You'll also discover maybe that you like poetry and that it's not always Shakespeare sonnets or Robert Frost. Could be, I love Robert Frost, but there could be a lot more excitement to it, a lot more diversity. So that's throughout the month of April. I just wanted to thank everybody again for another terrific show. Food is one of my favorite things to eat and cook. So as I was pulling this together, I probably snacked a little more than I should have. I was certainly inspired by all of the work. So please have a look at the show on artsy.net. You'll also find all of my archive shows from the last probably 6 years. I think there's about 70 or so shows on there. The most of the work is still available. If you're ever looking for anything in particular, please get in touch. I'd be happy to hook you up with the artwork and the artist that's right for you. So again, thanks everyone for joining me, especially the artists. I always enjoy hearing directly from the artists, their inspiration and their process. So thank you for that and for sharing your stories and your art with everyone. So I will see you all at the next artist discussion, which will be for the Neutral show. Take care, everyone. Have a
Thank you, Robert. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good
Thank
to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Pleased to be back. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank you.